Hello. So, small update on the KIBANI. I really hate this name. It sounds like, I don't know. It sounds exactly how what kind of machine it is. I had some scissors somewhere. So, this is the KIBANI magnet cutting slitting machine. That's the reason why I bought it. But even this task is kind of a little bit too much for him. Not so much cutting it, but getting it straight is complete hell. When I dial in this, it has a groove here. Well, I'll show you. So I made this piece of wood. I removed the floppy metal thing. It has the size of the magnet, so I can align it up and can cut it exactly in half. Well, at least that was the plan, but apparently it doesn't work because the blade, you steer like a piece of wood into it, like this, burp, and then you move it to make a curve. And apparently, if this is slightly off by the tiny amount, the blade will follow that direction, and the blade is floppy as well. And yeah, well, it drifts off even with a guide. So I have no clue what to do about that. I cannot tighten these things more because there is some blob of metal on the blade, so it will stall if I do. So either I have to make a complete new guide myself, but that's, I mean, what did I bought then? A blade and a motor, that's about it, I think, and some metal. But anyhow, now they look quite okay, by the way. But it's not consistent. So I might have, yeah, here it is perfect, and here it is not so much perfect. One is bigger than the other, by the tiniest amount. I mean, it's like 0 point something millimeters, but I use the width of the magnet to clamp it in my jigs. So if it doesn't fit, or is too small or too big, I cannot use it. So it has to be accurate. So what I'm gonna do, I cut a few meters, I think 30 or something. And this is what you will end up with, some donut. But you can see there is some height difference. So I'm gonna coil it up like this, stick it on some metal, and maybe add a tiny bit of double-sided tape or anything that's slightly sticky, or at least doesn't move. Well, probably not tape. I'm just gonna do some spray glue, a tiny bit amount, only on the metal, then drop this in place so it has some sort of staying force. Then I'm gonna throw it under the CNC and mill the last 0.2 millimeters off, so I got a consistent roll that is exactly the same size everywhere. That's one option. Or I create a guide like this and hover the CNC above it and then just pull everything through. But this might be the the fastest way, of course. If I go over this with a 25mm cutter, I'll be done in 2 minutes, but not even, I think, 30 seconds. And it will all be the same size as long as it stays on the metal and as long as my table is square. So that's one thing. Before I do complete rolls of this stuff, I probably need to level my bed. That would be a good idea. Otherwise, yeah, well, I fuck up a whole roll in 30 seconds. But that's a quick update on the KIBANI. And, well, well, it's not even good for this. But that might be just how the machine works. I mean, I don't know. I can imagine it's like, well, if you steer it into the saw wrong, then it will follow the easiest way. So I cannot force it like this. If you had like a longer blade, like a deeper blade, then that would be less of a problem. Or more. Well, I don't know. It is a problem. And now, gonna have dinner. Or maybe first coil up all the the amount of magnet that's lying on the floor here. Yes, it's a mess. Don't worry.